So one of the things that you're going to need to do for the next discussion board is I need you to make your turnaround sketch. Okay, that's the next thing you're going to show in a discussion board. That way you can start working on your project and you can make it look the way you want. All right. So a turnaround sketch basically just means it's 3 views. It's a front, 3/4, and side view. Okay. Turnaround can be more than that. I mean, they can do like a front, 3/4, side, 3/4 back. You know, they can be pretty elaborate. But really, what you want to use are the front and side is what you're going to be using inside of Maya. So you need to be able to make those into an image plane. Now, I'm going to do this inside of Photoshop so that you can see it. But the same rules would apply if you were going to be using pen and paper. Okay, so let's say you were using pen and paper. Actually, I have a piece of paper here, so I'll explain it as I do it here. So first off, I'm going to do is create a new document. Click on new, and I am just going to do, let's just do 1920 by 1080, and we'll hit OK. And it has these handles in here, which I don't want, so I'm just going to click and drag them up. Click and drag this one up, click and drag that one over, click and drag that one over, click and drag that one over. Yeah, I'm really good at clicking and dragging. I mean, that's what you came here for, right? Was to watch me click and drag. Cancel. Okay, and good. Okay. So the first thing I need to do is, remember, I need to make 3 drawings. I need to divide this into 3 equal spots. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to go to View, and we're going to do a new guide layout. And I don't need rows, but I'm going to make it so that it's not 3 columns, but make it 4 columns. So that way I end up with a center line here, a center line here, and a center line here. And then we'll hit OK. All right. So if you were doing this on a piece of paper, which then subsequently you'll have to take a picture, maybe with your phone, right? If you have a scanner, that's even better. What you're going to want to do is, let's say this is my piece of paper. I'm going to fold it in half like so. Okay? So now I have a center line right in the middle, and then I'm going to fold that in half. Imagine I did a good job. Picture it in your mind's eye. All right? It's like Mr. Rogers. It's pretend land or imagination land. So now I have 3 equal lines, okay? So imagine that this is this. Then what you're going to do is you want to draw your character in the 3/4 view. The 3/4 view is your main view. It's the view that you're going to be using, that you usually view characters in, okay? Tells the most about them. So I'm just going to use a brush here, and I'm just going to go ahead and make this small. And let's see, it's got that looks acceptable. Okay. So I'm just going to draw my 3/4 view in the front. Again, I would just draw it here. I don't really have a character design in mind, so I'm just going to super generic looky guy, and then you get the idea. So it's a good idea to kind of start with primitives. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of draw a primitive thing here. All right, and give them a belly, and make them a bit like this. You can see it's sort of snapping to these, so I'm just going to go to View and turn Snap off so it doesn't snap to those lines. Okay. And then, you know, draw the legs here. You get the idea. Okay. And then I would just draw the arms kind of. You can draw arms if you want, actually. Go ahead. Right. And then we'll just. Alright. And give them some eyes. Give my hairdo. Alright, good. Okay, so super generic-y guy, right? Not anything great. Now what I would do is, in your layers, so that's my first layer, once you're done with that, so let's say I drew him or her on this, what you're going to want to do is put lines across and use that as a guide for the other one. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and view and turn on rulers. And what you can do is you can drag from the rulers down, and I'm going to put one at the top of his head. Okay, that's not what I meant to do. Sweet, totally back in there. Okay. And I'll put one at his feet. I will put one at, like, maybe where his crotch is. One at the bottom of his head. Maybe one where his arms are. You can put one where his knees are. You know, you can put them even where his elbows are. However many guides, maybe one where his eyes are, right? So you can put as many guides as you want. What you're going to do on here is just get a ruler and basically just draw lines across real lightly, because obviously they're just meant to be guides. They're not actually, you don't actually need them when you, in Maya. You're going to need them just to draw it. Okay, so once I have the guides in here, I'm just going to go ahead and use this one as a guide to do my front and side. So I will just draw basically the front view here, so I know it goes like this, and that's roughly the top of his ears go here, right? And then that's where his eye line is. That went a little too high there, right? Kind of like that. And, you know, and then his hair is going to be cheating, so it just means that it favors one side regardless. And then the bottom of the belly goes here, right? And then we're just going to kind of, I didn't really give him sleeves, but, right? We'll just, okay. Imagine I did a good job, and then I would just do the side view here. Right? Like that. I just don't want to really, I'm just going to put a circle there because I don't really need to see the arms anyway. Right? And so on and so forth, right? So I draw them across as best I could, like that. Then afterwards, what I would suggest, if you're in here, so I would draw it rough like this, right? Just real rough. And you want to try and think about primitive shapes. All right, because that'll make it easier to see volumes. If you're thinking about, you can see I draw these center lines here. That'll make it easier to kind of draw. And then I would, afterwards, if you want, you can put a piece of paper over, or you can just keep drawing the same piece of paper. I'm going to unlock this. Afterwards, just go here. And then I would draw, like, you know, just a tighter version. Use that as a guide. And then, oops, make sure you're on the right layer here. Good. And then I would draw, you know, more like what, hang on a second, this brush is too thick, undo, 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 undo. It's easier to do it this way. Delete, B, Control, D, and make this brush smaller. So draw like, you know, a tighter version of it. Guy's obviously super generic, but I didn't want to do, like, normally obviously I do my cone guy, but he's not exactly a humanoid, so we're kind of doing humanoids here, so he probably should have a neck too, actually. Let's go ahead and give him a neck. And then, right? You get the idea. So I would use that as a guide, and then I could just throw that one away, or not. You can. Sometimes I like the little sketchiness underneath it. You probably notice it with my drawings. Ugh, this looks terrible. But so once you're done with that, and you draw all the pieces, and I'm actually just going to turn this one off and put this one back on. Just use, so why is the trans? Oh, I did fill. Okay. Use this one as the guide here. So if you're looking at your drawings now that you have this, so let's say you do the same thing here. You draw them into your the 3 drawings, okay? What you should do at this point is take this, just export it out as a JPEG, so you're just going to Control-Shift-S, save it as a JPEG, okay? Just call it like your last name turnaround. This isn't it for some reason. I want a JPEG. There we go. Save it as like your last name turnaround, and then post that onto the discussion board. And then, so just, you know, that way the drawings all together. Post it onto the discussion board. You know, say what your character is. You know, give a little B-roll on them. Okay. But then for Maya, when you go to do your project, what you're going to want to do is you want to cut this up into 3 pictures. Okay. So I'm going to back this thing up. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is, you can see I have they're all on this one layer. I'm just going to go ahead and just one at a time grab this chunk here, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and Control-X, Control-V. I'm going to turn that layer off. And then grab this one like this, Control X, Control V, and I'm going to turn that layer off. Make sure I'm on this one. Okay, I'll turn, or not. Maybe I won't turn you off. There we go. And then I'll grab this one and Control X and Control V. Okay. So I'm going to move, hopefully, my thing. Did I get you? Nope, I didn't. Nope. God bless it. Okay. Well, actually, it's out of the way, so it works. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and just delete this one. Or get rid of, I should say. Cool. Ugh, stupid thing is in the way. Okay. What's this one? Okay, that's the front. Okay, so this drawing I don't want anymore. So let's drag you to the garbage and let go. And then layer 0, I'm also going to drag to the garbage and let go. Okay. Sweet. I like how that works. It works so good. Come on, please. Just do the thing. Okay. And I think I accidentally created some duplicates. That guy didn't even go away. That's cool. Okay. Imagine that I only had 3 layers and now it's just more confusing than helpful. Okay, so there's the front, there's this 3/4, and there's the side, and then there's this guy here. So just delete, Control delete. Okay, just ignore these bottom 2. It won't let me delete anything because the stupid window's in the way. Alright, so we have these 3, okay? You need to line them up, so I'm just going to hold Shift, click, and drag them all, and I'm just going to take the opacity and bring them down a bunch, right? So let's say there's 3 of them, so let's do like 33. I'm going to go ahead and go to View. So even if you draw them here like this, what you're going to want to do is bring it in here, and you're going to want to cut them into those 3, into 3 layers. I'm just going to go ahead and turn extras off. That'll get rid of the rulers. And let's just do, okay, which one's the 3/4? That's 3/4. Okay, so I'm just going to do 2 at a time. And let's make these a little bit higher. Okay, so we'll do like 50%. And so basically what we're going to do is take the 1, and I'm going to hit Control T. And if it's a little bit off, you can go ahead, you might want to hold Shift actually, and just make sure that the feet and the head match up like so. So I'm just going to hit Control T for free transform, and then I'm just going to click and drag and just try to squish it so it fits. Hit Enter. Turn that one off. I'm going to turn this one on. And I'm going to do the same thing here too. Control T. On this layer, I'm just doing them both compared to basically the 3/4 view. And I'll put this one here. And I'll hit Enter. Alright. Now, you might find that, I'm going to put this back to full here. Put it back to 100%. And I'll take this one, put this one back on. So you might find that other parts are off a little bit and you need to fine tune it. You can also use Liquify. So while I have the layer above that's transparent, which is the side view, select this. I can go to Filter and Liquify. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and turn Show Backdrop on. Make sure that that is on. And then I can Control Plus and make sure you got the squishy one. And basically I can move my drawing around a little bit. So like the eye needs to move up and his hair should go here, and I can kind of push in, like you can see his ear's a little too low. So I'm going to click and drag that ear up, and you know, he looks a little too hunched over, so I'm just going to move this over and be like, oh, look at the armhole is supposed to be higher. So I'll use my bracket keys next to the right and the P key to basically try and size it. And then I can just use this Liquify to try, I mean, it might be a little wiggly woggly. You can see it's getting, try to, you know, try to do it, you know, with some craftsmanship, unlike myself. And then when you're happy with it, you just hit OK. Hopefully it allows you to. Please, please. Come on. There it goes. And that will apply. And then I'll turn that one off and then do the other one and select it and do Liquify in that. Then when you're done and you got all the drawings lined up real nice and in the center like to each other, all you're going to do is just one at a time export these out. So I'm going to select this one and I will just do File, Save As, and then call it like whatever your character's name is. And just do a JPEG again, just because they're easy. So just whatever. So just say car underscore 3/4, right? I'm not going to save it because I don't want to. And then I would select this one, make sure the transparency, the opacity is all the way up, and then I would just save this again. And then again, make sure it's a JPEG, and just do side car underscore side, and save that. Cancel. And then turn this one on and take this one all the way up. And again, save it and just call this one car underscore front. Okay? And then just maybe save this PSD too, just so that if you need it for something, you also have it. But hopefully that makes sense. So the idea is, it's probably going to be easier for you to draw it, I'm assuming, on paper and pencil, because obviously I have a Cintiq, so it makes it a little bit easier. But if you feel comfortable with a mouse, and you can use a different program, you have to use Photoshop. I don't really care. But basically, you're going to draw your character 3 poses, okay? Take a picture of it. You can literally just take that picture or that scan and just submit that for the discussion board. I don't care. Just as long as the 3 drawings are there and people can look at them and critique them. You're going to bring them in, and then I just need you either in Photoshop or whatever program you're comfortable in. I honestly don't care. It's not a Photoshop class. You're going to cut them into the 3 images so that you can bring them in as image planes, as guides, basically, that you put behind your model for the front and side view, and that you have the 3/4 one as just a guide for when you're modeling. All right, hopefully that makes sense. And that's basically what you're going to do. So make your turnaround sketch and do, like I said, scan it in or draw it into the computer. Take a picture of it. However you got to get it in. If you take a picture, obviously, try to get it real flat, get good lighting, good quality. Take it outside. Taking photos outside, the light's going to be a lot better than inside. Like I said, take a picture, whatever. Post it onto Blackboard on the discussion forum that I made for it. It'll say, like, turnaround something. And then post yours in there. And then everyone will critique it, you know, try to do a cool character design. When you make your character, it has to be basically a humanoid bipedal person thing. It doesn't have to be human. You can give it like a dog face or something, but it has to have 2 arms, 2 legs, because we're all making the same character, and it'll be too hard to rig if it's not a humanoid, okay? That's it. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and I will do my best to try to help you with it.